Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And kicking us right into this special edition episode here, we've got the guys that created the next Star Wars fan film that's hitting your airways right now, Odyssey, a Star Wars story. We've got writer, director, producer, Mark Alex Vogt. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Welcome. And with you, Gavin Chen.
How's it going? Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Welcome, guys, to the show. We've been talking about the movie that we've been waiting for all summer.
Been watching your featurettes on your social media pages. Definitely getting hyped up for that.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And we've highly, obviously, appreciated that we got an early viewing of the show, of the movie, on the show. So we just watched it literally about an hour ago. I will tell you, first off, my impression of it, it's beautifully shot, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I think the thing about fan films, as we all are big Star Wars fans, as you watch fan films, cinematography is a big aspect of filmmaking that a lot of people overlook. For real.
Yeah.
And you guys did a great job. So let's just dive right in and let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
How did the story come about? How did all this come together?
Yeah. It came about 2 years ago, and a fan film is something I always wanted to do. I've always wanted to sort of give back in that way. I've been, working at the whole filmmaking thing for as long as I can remember. It's always what I wanted to do. And about 2 years ago, I realized that I was going to reach a point in my life where if I didn't make the fan film now, then I was going to reach a point where I couldn't take that time and spend that money and make the film. But I decided that I really, really wanted to do it, and I loved war movies, and I decided I wanted to combine those two, and wanted to give it a shot. And the story evolved a lot from the first thing we thought of, but it took about probably a 5-month writing process to really land on what we were going for. And we landed on something that I'm really happy with. So, yeah.
So tell us the time frame. When did that start? When did you guys start writing this thing?
When was the Kickstarter? The Kickstarter launched 2 years ago?
Kickstarter launched on May 4th, and I started writing it in about December is when I first initially started.
Nice. Wow.
Really just jotting down ideas and thinking about how it would be possible.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Did you already have your crew? Like you guys were already on the project because you had the Kickstarter. Who all part of the crew did you have at that point?
Well, at that point, it was just me and my producer, Shane. And he, I pitched it to him once I thought of it, and he liked it. But I didn't bring Gavin on until when I first met him, we were talking on a set. I was working on a set. I was a grip, and we were just sitting in the back of a truck. And I was just kind of talking about, I want to do this Star Wars thing. And said, well, if you ever do it, I'd love to shoot it. And a few months later, it happened.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually a few years apart. I graduated a few years ago, so it was just happenstance that I happened to be back visiting on that project. And when I heard about it, I was like, I need to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Happens, you call me. And it was like 4 months later that I got the call. I was like, hey, it's happening. And I was like, all right, well, clear my schedule.
So obviously this is, I gotta feel like this somewhat is inspired by Rogue One a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was actually coincidentally enough, it did, the idea did come about around the same time.
I'm not going to say that it happened at the same time. Maybe just a little earlier. I'm not going to say you stole my idea, but you stole my idea.
Yeah.
No, for sure. It was something where I saw Rogue One, and I love Rogue One. It's probably one of my favorites of the new ones, especially. And I felt like there were some elements of the film that I wanted to go into more. I wanted to go into some of those little snippets and scenes that we had on Scarif that I was like, man, that's a really, really cool nugget of a story that I want to try to expand on. But I had a very strong feeling of doing a fan film that kind of stood on its own in a way, if that exists. But doing something where I wasn't leaning on a character from canon or a plot canon. That way we kind of got to make our own world sense.
And on top of that, all the features kind of take on the problems of the Star Wars world in a very macro sense, and you take on the conflicts in a very macro sense. And it was cool to kind of go in something smaller, like just one troop, just one platoon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Okay. So before we dive a little bit more in the movie, backgrounds. We love obviously talking about people's backgrounds on where did the love of Star Wars come from for each of you?
Yeah, I was shown the film. My dad showed it to me when I was 2. I don't remember this, but this is what he tells me. It was right around 99. So it was right around when Phantom Menace was out, and from there, I don't remember a point in my life without Star Wars, and was always there growing up. The toys, all of that. That was childhood to me. And, I also come from a family of nerds, and it's great. I grew up, going to family vacation at like Star Wars Celebration and stuff like that. So that was awesome. That was my, upbringing in the fandom, and it's been an awesome way to grow up. Couldn't have asked for anything better. So
yeah, I grew up in a Star Wars household, and it was just like I don't even have a distinct memory. It was just always there, kind of deal. But I definitely remember being a big part of watching all the fan films come out during around when the prequels are coming out and stuff. And there was this massive wave of fan films and stuff like that. And that was inspiration to me to become a part of the film industry. So I feel very tied to the Star Wars fandom,
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the phrase "group in a Star Wars household." It's so much like a religion thing. It's like we're a Star Wars family. We do Star Wars evenings, and
this is a Star Wars household.
This is a Star Wars household.
Yes, for sure.
We all love Star Wars here.
And this is how we love Star Wars.
Now, Mark, you've got Kentucky ties.
I do.
Right? Yeah. Because you're right down the street. We're in Lexington, so you're right down the street. You grew up right from us.
Oh man, yeah.
You're from Louisville, right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Louisville, and I got family in Lexington, so that's cool. But yeah, no, I moved away to Georgia just for school about 3 years ago. So still get back pretty often now.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, Gavin.
No, I was just saying. Hopefully, we get to shoot out that way one day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's as Mark could tell you, it's gorgeous up here, and there's all kinds of landscapes. But you guys obviously shot on a beach, which is a lot better than where we're at.
Beaches in Kentucky.
So Georgia, I'm assuming. Savannah, I think, is where you guys picked the location. So talk about why you guys chose that place and all that.
Yeah, we chose, and that was actually one of the things that helped inspire the film a little bit. I was after winter break, around the time Rogue One came out, we went to this one place down here in Savannah called Wassaw Island, and it just looked like this derelict, beautiful, violent-looking beach, and it just looked like something I'd never seen before. And that was the first time I'd seen something. I was like, that could be Alien. I haven't seen that in Star Wars, and I was kind of drawn to the fact that I had never seen it before, much like a lot of landscapes in Star Wars are new to a larger audience. And given that we had to take a boat to get to Wausau, that wasn't going to work. So we decided to scout around, and we found Hunting Island State Park, which is in South Carolina.
Yeah, it's about an hour north of Savannah in South Carolina.
Got it.
So the park rangers there were super awesome to us.
They're very accommodating,
Yeah, they were great, and we shot there. We had a little bit of a pushback because of the hurricane. 6 days on the beach. Yeah, 6 days. 6 days on the beach.
Wow.
It was shooting on the beach is intense. It's
a logistical challenge.
Get all your stuff out there, but
it's very tough on the gear.
Yeah, sand, it gets everywhere.
It is.
Right?
Especially feeling, our crew was up to like 40 people at one point on set. So
wow.
It's just a lot of people to transport around,
For sure.
Yeah. So talk about because this, most fan films, I think at least the ones I'm familiar with, the way they can pull it off is they keep the stories small and the cast small. But I feel like you guys really put together a pretty nice sized cast for this thing. Talk about that process. And I think we talked when you first got a hold of us, Mark, about reaching out to the 501st and getting that incorporated. So, which is a great thing to do for fan film. So, talk about that.
Yeah, the casting process was great. I mean, it came from when we wrote the story, we knew that we were going to have sort of this ensemble group, and we had to be very, very choosy and very picky about in what ways we showed the characters on screen and made sure that it was so planned to a T that, we weren't just, leaving someone out or just setting something up to be left alone.
How many auditions did you go through for the people on the squad?
For the squad, we went through over 130 auditions.
Oh, wow.
It was a big online push, and we landed with an awesome cast. It was super fun, and that was all done through the internet. Like, we didn't have any in-person auditions. It was all through video and stuff like that. So that was the first time I had really worked with something like that, which was cool. But
were they from the local area though?
They from all over the place.
Yeah.
A couple of them came from Atlanta.
Wow,
Relatively close.
Atlanta, Florida. We had one from Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a little bit all over the place, and that was cool. But I was very grateful that they all made the trip down. But especially given that we shot on 2 separate weekends, there's a lot of travel time. Stay in the week in between. But as far as the 501st, that was awesome. That was something that we always knew was going to be a part of it. I had just became a member actually in December. So when I was writing, I had one of the shore troopers in the film. That's my suit. So
nice.
It's really funny. The guy, the lead shore trooper who gets, the lead shore trooper. Yeah. No spoiler, but that's my. So my dad played one of the shore troopers because that's his suit as well. So it was fun. We had just both joined the Legion, and I was like, well, now let's put the suits to use. Let's do something. But we the people from the South Carolina and the North Carolina garrison and the Georgia garrison.
I think we had 12 501st members travel down for us.
Yeah.
How many? Sorry.
12.
12.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So that was.
They came from Florida and all over the Southeast region. Right?
Yeah. No, it was. There were a lot of people, and that was. You're talking about 12 TKs and armor. I mean, that's it's a small little army. It's a good.
Yeah. No.
But. Yeah, it's cool.
And the fact that they had functioning blasters was really impressive.
I
mean, I can't find those around here. I mean, the one I got doesn't work.
Right? Yeah. No,
that was the safety hazard set.
Yeah, no. The weapons handler was kind of nervous.
Yeah.
So how much of the set? I'm assuming. Was it all built, or was there stuff on the beach that was there?
The ship was completely built. That was a 360 practical set that we built actually in a storage facility, which is fun.
In downtown Savannah. So there was a Savannah unit that did shoot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So that was built from scratch. And the beach and everything surrounding that was just on location, and then Fort Fremont was the other area, which is that's where the access point set is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old abandoned gun battery, and
there you go.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it was one of those things that like the architecture was so old that it was like it just looks like a stone mass structure.
Yeah.
We could kind of dress it up a little bit and do what we needed to, but it was that was a lucky find. That was about probably 30 minutes away from the beach, so we had it was close by, but that was cool to dress up and
it was cool to be location. In such a unique location where it's like just shooting it felt very Star Wars. We didn't have to do very much work. It
felt very like Gavin.
It worked very well.
Exactly. I was about to say like ruins kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, it's hard. Where we are, it's a very woodland type of area, but hard finding locations that feel Star Wars.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's where you get a lot of fan films that are in the woods. So you guys are. It's very nice. It's a breath of fresh air, kind of for the scenery and like you said earlier, like a unique take. So great eye, great job on finding all that.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was cool. It was some rough locations, but it was worth it.
There was a lot of bugs, guys. There was a lot of bugs.
So many bugs.
So that's what I do like asking that and diving into that on top of the struggles with the sand, of course. Both Casey and I, we both have a film background as well, and what I love talking about mainly when you get done with a project is really looking back at actually the hard part of it. Like what were actually, besides the sand, what were the struggles of that you feel like the main ones? Obviously, there's all kinds of struggles,
Right.
But what were the ones that kind of stood out to you that you guys really took control of and overcome?
I mean, obviously, like fitting our ambition inside our budget.
Yeah.
As always. Yeah.
And we wanted to do so much. Our location being an hour away from Savannah was kind of a problem because we wanted to run long days, and obviously it's not safe for our crew to drive to and from an hour.
Yeah.
So finding a place to house, 30 kids,
Yeah.
that was a big challenge. And getting all of them to and from set was a big challenge that we weren't used to handling.
No, for sure.
It was a lot of logistical stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
really, we all love being on set, and I feel like we had a good handle on our crafts. But there are so many other challenges that present themselves when you show up on the day.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, going off of what the location being, I mean, we got pushed back about 5 months from Hurricane Irma.
That was huge, yeah.
That was really intense, and that was kind of a hard thing because I mean, we had all the flights were booked, everybody's hotels. I mean, everything was
we
ready.
We had quotes from Gear House or rental houses,
and we just had to call everybody and be like, I mean, the location just got destroyed.
Yeah. The Coast Guard or something was saying that no one was allowed to go in. Yeah,
put like a hold on that area for a while. But we're lucky that it opened up when it did, when it gave us time to go back in. But the other main challenge, I guess, from my perspective, was just the term of post set depression is like is really hardcore, and it's true because it's something like where it was still hanging on a little bit right around the trailer release, and it was something where we were offset and we were starting to the film was being cut together and everybody was still like in that energy level. But then after the trailer comes in, there's still cutting work to do, there's still effects work to do, sound work, like there's still these major processes that have to be done. But then you realize it's just you and I in a room with a computer, and that's it. Like that is, and it's just computer work and a lot of Skype meetings, a lot of phone calls, and just that's sort of the process that when you're a smaller indie style film, like you just gotta have endurance and perseverance to
keep cracking away, keep going. 12 minutes isn't that long, but it ends up being like 130 blaster shots that you have to be calm together.
Yes.
Yeah. No, for
and it's
sure.
just a slow process.
Yeah, it's intense. But yeah, no, that was my main thing, was just getting, like you said, the summer pushback was hard because it was like it felt like we were like doing so much every day, but then it's just like, oh, there's still more and more. And everything just kind of keeps.
We got
going.
a score recorded on an actual scoring stage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was
the mix was done in 5.1 surround sound.
Yeah. That was.
We took some.
Yeah, we took some of the stuff that took more time for quality's sake. But yeah, no, it was. This summer has been a fun ride of post production. So
yeah,
good stuff.
Post was a big hurdle.
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you get final cut and like you're wrapped completely done?
An hour ago, right?
An hour ago.
We had
there was maybe a few tweaks after our big screening on the 19th.
Yeah.
And so we just finished out those few last minute tweaks.
And you just uploaded it, and you said before the show. So,
yeah, exactly.
Awesome. I love that.
We had to bounce it down to stereo, obviously, for YouTube and stuff like that. But it was it was done pretty close to the screening, and probably closer than comfort. But it's been it's been good to get it out. Yeah, we'll just put it that way.
Yeah, and I'll just going back out to the hard part. I'll always say that, in my opinion, the hard part about filmmaking is what makes it so much fun. To be honest, like figuring out those challenges and going, and like you said, staying up all night and figuring out what works best. I mean, it's just part of it, man, and it's a testament when you see the final product. You know how much effort and how much, and especially people that know it and appreciate it. It's truly is a huge accomplishment, especially when you know something like Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, you're not, we can't make money from this thing. We can't, you guys can't do anything really besides give it to the fandom to enjoy. And trust me, a lot of people will enjoy something like this. You know, so
thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of weight and intensity that
builds in
comes with.
some pressure to it.
Yeah,
with
it's
the built-in audience.
Absolutely.
When you're trying to do something, especially big in the fan film world, it's like you don't want to. There's a fine line between promoting something that you don't have. So like making sure the advertising isn't showing that like you're trying to be one of the saga films, or like it's a very because it's like, you know, you want to show that what you're doing is unique and this is different. We are accepting that this is the world we're telling. We're not trying to act like this is what you didn't see when, you know, rolling on, you know, Force Awakens or something. But so it's cool. It's a humbling, fun experience and a fun thing to interact with. I mean, the community and the audience. So it's cool.
But even if it's not, it's still Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Absolutely. So it's you've put your stamp on that and you've added it to that fandom, which is great. So
thank you.
So did you guys do the effects? So who did the effects in the film?
So I did all of the effects.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to study VFX in college, and then I started getting on set when I was like my junior year or something like that, and fell in love with being on set and being a part of that process. But I'm all self-taught as far as it goes on the VFX side. So we just, where a lot of it was R&D and figuring things out and kind of
very impressive. Yeah.
Waiting to a point we liked it. Yeah.
No, yeah. It was something where, given that, you know, you could do the effects on his home computer, it could be something where I could be sitting there and we could just be giving live feedback to, you know,
workshop a way to
exactly. It's different than like doing stuff in a different sense when you send off for shots. You know, there's this thing where you send off notes and you get it back, and then you send off more notes. So it's like this weird like gap of communication where it's a little different and not as, especially with Star Wars effects, because it's like it's so. There's no clean-cut, defined rule of
it's so nuanced.
Of what a blaster should look like.
It's whatever you want.
Each movie has their own version. So, yeah,
that's great. That's great. Okay, so what's so this thing is, as people are listening to this now, this movie is out there. What's the next step?
Yeah.
What's on your plate next now that this movie is done? I know you're gonna be pushing this thing for a while, but what's
the next thing?
What's next?
Well, like you said, next is to make sure that we can promote this as much as we can, really get it out there. But we are actually starting work on a World War II film next. We're doing a cool. We found this story that I just fell in love with, and it hasn't been told, and it's something that I feel like, you know, we really want to pay respect and do it well, and that's going to be the next big thing that we're going to try and go out.
All while still raising the bar, taking what we did with Odyssey and going bigger.
Yeah.
How much bigger can we go? You know,
exactly. It's all a matter of setting the bar really, really, really high and trying to, you know, do the best we can and learn as much as we can while we're doing it. So,
short feature.
We're looking at short
again. Okay.
For now, it's something that when I heard about it, it was something that I was like, oh my gosh, that's definitely that's a feature in my heart.
It's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah, it's definitely
our short's our way of getting there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But then the side of like, do I really want to do a war film for my first feature? That seems really expensive. And so that's we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's what's next in the queue. So
good. Okay, so tell everybody your platform now. Tell everybody where they can see this thing and where everybody can get a glimpse.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's on YouTube at our channel, which is MAV Films LLC. But it's also on our website, which links to YouTube, which is www.odyssey-films.com, and it will
it's online now.
Yeah, it's online now. Right now, yeah.
Go now.
Spread the word. Yeah. Tell your friends. Share it with people who might enjoy it. We really appreciate it. We can't thank you guys enough for having us on to talk about it.
No, absolutely.
Thank you guys for what you've produced.
Yes.
There's definitely a few guys at our office that are going to love this.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we have that. You Gavin, you've been there.
Yeah, it's an awesome facility.
Yeah, we usually every once in a while just have Star Wars movies playing all the time. So
Cool.
we'll put this on for sure. In fact, I'll make sure we get it going on the office tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Awesome.
And we'll keep pushing it as long as you want us to. I think what we'll do. I mean, I didn't want to get into much of the plot necessarily, right?
Yeah,
I do want people to go and see it and stuff like that. So maybe I definitely want to have you guys back on maybe in a couple of weeks after everybody sees it. Then we can actually dive into more of the story and kind of break down that stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to talk about there. So
sure.
Anything else you guys want to plug? Yeah, yourselves.
Oh, no, just check it out when you can and spread the word. But yeah, for any of our guys listening, we just want to say thanks for everybody that made it possible, and for sure. We can't believe we're here. We're excited to see what's next. But man, it feels really good to finally have this thing done. So absolutely. For sure.
No, you guys should feel good.
Congratulations,
huge accomplishment, guys.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
So we'll appreciate it. We'll have Mark and Gavin back on here in a few weeks once they kind of calm down.
Once riding the high of
after you guys get
release.
some sleep.
Take a little nap.
Gavin's passing out back there a little bit. I can see it. No, great job, guys. We appreciate you guys coming on here, and good luck to the release and getting everybody on there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
No problem. So that was Mark and Gavin, creators and filmmakers for Odyssey, a Star Wars story. I keep wanting to say Star Wars Odyssey, but I don't think that's really how. I think it's just Odyssey.
A Star Wars Odyssey.
Yeah. No, good job, guys. We'll keep talking about that in the coming weeks, but go check that out. Like you said, the places you can, their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, the film's out there now. I'm sure it'll be in our feeds as well. So go look at that. Just a couple little topics we want to finish up with on this episode of Inside the Force. One is I just got around to watching it, but you watched it when it first came out. The third episode of Resistance dropped before the first episode debuted on television in the app.
Yes.
But I just happened to just watch it just over the weekend. Third episode, what'd you think?
It was good. Since I saw them all,
it's been a while for you.
Since I saw them all back to back, they all kind of blend together. But I know this. The plot of this is Kaz meets those other racer kids, and they kind of falls in with the wrong group, kind of thing.
Kind of the bad villain guy.
Yeah,
almost
I'm sure he'll come back. It sounds like he's going to come back and be kind of a nuisance throughout to Kaz throughout the season. So it was a good episode. It was fun. And, again, I think it's Kaz. I just got to wrap my head around, and I think a lot of fans probably do too, that, again, this is for a younger audience. So a lot of the themes, a lot of the arcs that these characters are facing will seem kind of, to me, a little more simple than maybe what we're used to with Clone Wars and with Rebels, whereas like Kaz, it seems like a lot of times he's just learning these little lessons of don't fall in with the wrong crowd, be respectful to Yeager, and take responsibility, like a lot of these things of coming of age type of lessons. And so Kaz is definitely this young kid who's coming of age in a sense with this first big mission. So this is just one step further. So I think it does work. I mean, I think I do like it better. I think I'm liking it more and more with each episode. So I'm definitely getting more and more involved and excited with what's coming next. And always, the animation's been great. The action's been great. All the racing. So
I don't think we've even seen that much of it either.
Not a whole lot. And that's why I'm really eager to see.
We haven't even, Phazon, we haven't even really met yet.
No, I think we saw him flying maybe in one of those scenes. But no, we got the first race. I forget the girl's racer's name. Yeah. But they raced a little bit in this episode. So it's getting there, but yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm anxious to see more.
Me too. Yeah, and Jace Rucklin is the kid that he meets.
Okay.
The only knock, I agree with everything you said. The only knock I have with this episode is it's 3 episodes in, and I feel like, and of course they have to do this because they got to keep reminding you, but Yeager, he keeps saying, you're not a mechanic. You need to.
It does get.
It's almost getting repetitive.
That's kind of
time.
That's a better way of putting it. Well, what I was trying to get at was, it's like Kaz's beginning to end of each episode. It gets a little repetitive.
Correct. Yes.
But again, simple. It's. I think it's. I'm trying to find the right words to say because I don't want to insult anything.
No.
It's toned down a little bit to meet the demographic of a younger audience.
Totally.
It's so I don't know. I actually have been reading a lot on that. I don't know if people are reacting well. Like for the older fans, like are they on board with this or not? Like I haven't really seen anything.
I haven't seen any negative opinions about it, but I also feel like, since I haven't seen much talking about it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many people are actually watching it either. So it's tough to say, but
I'm going to keep watching it.
I am too.
I'll
keep watching it for sure.
Rewatch it too a little bit because
again,
fun.
I do feel like it will get into a little more mature topics and a little older topics. I feel like there's. I mean, we're barely into it. Sure. I mean, this is a long season, 20-something episodes, so. There's a lot that can go down. There's a lot that's gonna, I think, turn some people's, because I think it's gonna be one of them things where, you haven't been watching it, and then you're on Twitter, and you're all of a sudden someone says something happens with Kylo or something like that. And like, what? Why am I not watching the show? Right. Yeah. So then they'll start tuning in. Very similar. I feel like with Rebels, it's like you got this whole thing going, and all of a sudden there's hints of Maul coming back, and it's like what? How am I not watching the show, right? So,
right.
So anyway, I think, I'm definitely gonna stick with it. I think it's my youngest daughter. Every time I've had it on, she's like, "Oh, Star Wars," and sits down and starts watching it a little bit. So, but her attention span is gone after a little bit, so it's I can't get her in it all the way, but it's almost there. So that's out there. What else? A couple of things with the some images we got.
Yeah, Making Star Wars is really making a huge comeback with their leaks and their scoops. If you're interested in potentially spoiler-ish kind of stuff, I've seen it. There's nothing spoilerish with what they've been posting. I don't think it's been set pieces and from a distance, kind of what they're shooting at Pinewood and other locations. Jumbo
for Mandalorian or for 9?
For 9. Sorry, for 9. For Mandalorian, there's been some as well. I think this happened before.
Where are they shooting Mandalorian in L.A.?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. But Pinewood's in Atlanta.
I don't think they're shooting any of this in Pinewood. For Mandalorian, I think it's before our last show, there were some photos of like an alien creature on set. Of course, we saw Favreau on set, that kind of stuff. I don't think in the past week there hasn't been anything really too new with leaked photos of the Mandalorian. But if you're following Jon Favreau's social media, that's where you got to be right now with anything new related to the show, because he's their PR. He's the show's PR. He's been posting images of props again. Actually, I don't think it's been new props, but he's been posting pictures of him. George Lucas showed up on set.
Yes.
Was it his birthday? I think it was recently George Lucas's birthday. No, it wasn't.
No, I don't think it was his birthday.
I thought I saw someone say happy birthday. But anyways, picture of him and Favreau. Then later was another picture of George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau. It's just like, that's like a new triumvirate in a way. And I just love every single movie Lucas has shown up.
I know.
Right? He's been kind of talking to the directors, talking to the creatives, and being like, giving his little input. So it still has thumbprints of George Lucas.
Yes.
Everything we've been seeing, and that's what is very exciting, especially about Mandalorian.
Am I imagining this, or did I remember hearing that Lucas did he direct a little bit like a scene of Solo?
Did I hear that?
I
think I read that he gave direction for Ron Howard.
Yeah. Bless you.
I don't know if he actually. I don't think he directed it. Okay. I think he maybe mentioned it, right? Like he should do this or something. I don't know. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he really did.
but I would listen.
Yeah. What's that? Okay. Guys, did you hear that? Okay. Do what he just said.
Yeah. Why am I here? No, that's it. Yeah, it shows. It both ways. I think it shows the respect that Disney and Lucasfilm have still for George, and of course, it shows that how much he loves still the franchise and cares for it and wants to be a part of it. So, yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, he should be there. He should be there all the time.
Just show up. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna do?
I know, right?
This is my world.
So yeah, that's
really nothing new.
Other than that,
there's some video game stuff happening with Battlefront 2. Actually, some good and bad stuff with the video game Star Wars world. EA. That's a whole other topic altogether.
Yes.
They just can't get their crap together. People are walking out of the video game industry.
Yes,
associated with Star Wars games. So who knows when we'll be able to get a truly amazing campaign game out of them, but. That's I mean, it's pretty much it. Vader's Castle. I'm hearing is quite amazing.
So that's out now.
I think. Is it out? I keep seeing previews for issues.
You're talking about you're talking about the books.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought because I think
not the VR
is
thing.
the VR thing coming out?
I don't know when that's coming.
I think it's almost. I think it's either coming out, about to come out, or it just came out.
Forgot the name of that.
I was just sitting there at work today thinking that I really want to. Play the campaign again on Battlefront 2. Story. I really want to do that story again. So I may do that this weekend.
They need to do a new DLC, and I don't know why they don't do that every time they do a new thing for the online game. They just go ahead and do a new chapter, please,
or just do a different story or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The
way they left it with the newest chapter that they released was such a open door to more amazing stories to connect it to the current movies. And
that's
I think
true.
I hope.
How awesome would it be to have those characters from Aftermath?
Absolutely.
That's
why I hope Story Group or whoever's kind of orchestrating some of the stuff that they're not going to forget it, and I'm sure they're not. And I just feel like it just needs to be. Sometimes you got to state the obvious. It's like with the Maul cameo. It's like. Please carry that through.
Carry it through.
Yeah. Please carry these things through. Just because I'm worried that sometimes it won't, and then we're left with just a shoehorned Easter egg or cameo or something like that. But I'm optimistic.
Me too.
You gotta be. Can't find the release date for this.
Okay. It's coming in the home version. I think the VR thing. So that's why I don't know if it's even done yet or out yet. We had a great interview with the creators of Odyssey. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about, kind of in that vein of fan films. Of course, when you think of Star Wars fan films, the whole point, in my opinion, the whole point of these things are truly done out of the love of Star Wars. Like, you're not, I mean, of course you can make a good, you can add a good aspect to your resume if the film works out. It's a good looking film, or, it's getting high praise, and, cinema, the filmmaking aspects of it are really good. Effects are good, stuff like that, depending on what you did with the film. It's definitely a resume builder an experience builder for most people. But the creators of it, the ones that write it, the ones that imagine it, I mean, it's purely I would say 99%, if not 100% of the time, it's from people that are just huge fans of Star Wars, right?
Yeah. And the guys were even saying there that we didn't get too deep into it, but like the actors that they talked to were coming from across the country.
Yes.
And it's like, you got to think that maybe some of that has to do because it's Star Wars. Like, I mean, if I had that opportunity to, be in an ambitious film like that.
Yes.
I probably would travel across a couple states.
Absolutely. Why not? Because, very similar to that VR experience I did down at Disney. It's like to be, it's almost like you're acting in a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
That VR. But like you said, like if somebody truly had the opportunity to act in a Star Wars film, it's like you're going to do it. Yeah. Just hearing how many people they auditioned that wanted to be in it, right?
Yeah.
Very, very impressive. So, So and I gotta say, like lately, including this movie, I think the recent fan films, I mean, are just really good looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, and like I gotta say, like I think it was a year or two ago, the Mall movie that came out.
Or you fought all those Jedi.
Yes.
Yeah, just amazing choreography.
The choreography, but the way that film looked
Yeah.
was unbelievable.
They got a great mall. They got a
great Maul. And
really
he cosplays all the time as Maul, apparently. And you know, it's just a testament of finding those people and putting it together and putting the time. Because I mean, even that movie, I remember reading or hearing, seeing some behind the scenes of the director. He's like, it took him over 2 years to make the movie.
Yeah,
you know, so I mean, that's a long time to dedicate. Now, of course, you have to find the time to do it because you're not, you know, making money from it.
You're shooting weekends also a lot. Like these guys with Odyssey, 2 weekends, or
that's right.
You know, a lot of these, you know, even more longer films will shoot all weekend. So it will take a very long time. Get through it.
It will. But I do want to mention, and I don't want to. I just want to kind of get our thoughts on it a little bit, but it's starting to spread. If people haven't seen online, that when Lucasfilm sold to Disney, and shortly thereafter, I want to say, I can't remember if the website got redone before the buy or after the buy, but at some point they added their community tab,
right?
And on that community tab, which I remember going to it for the first time, I was very surprised to see they had listed a big batch of fan sites. Right. So there's 3 categories. There was organizations, which were, you know, like the 501st and the, what is it called? The Merc. It's like the bounty hunters. I can't remember then you have the you just had different the droids,
Saber Guild.
You had the droid builders and all that stuff. Then it had a section called news and blog sites, which a lot of your really like Star Wars Underworld, I think, is on there. Different Force.net, and then it had fan podcasts. Yeah. And it started off with like, I think a dozen of them, and then it slowly added a couple more, and I got up to like 20 or so. Now, I'll admit, that's what had been one of our goals, I think, to be listed on there. You know, I don't know. A lot of those people on there were the bigger podcasts, and, you know, some of them have more connections to Lucasfilm. So I didn't know the process. You know, I guess, you know, we're trying to just get popular enough to maybe be accepted on there. But anyway, a good place to go and connect with fandom and all that stuff. Well, I just noticed recently, about a week ago, and now I'm seeing it online all the time, is that Lucasfilm has removed those the podcast and the blog sites. Yeah. And I think the organizations have been shrunk to just a few of them. 501st is still on there and stuff like that. But the blog sites, the fan podcasts, they're not listed on there anymore. And there's a big disclaimer now on there saying, you know, no fan sites are associated with Lucasfilm, blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know, just your initial reaction. I just told you about this tonight, right?
Just told me.
You just found out.
I'm still reeling. I guess part of me gets it. Yeah, again, we can only guess why they did it, and I'm feeling like there's been so much just turmoil and you know, the Star Wars online community through Twitter and through all the social media that's been happening with the people involved with the films and stuff like that. It's been so hostile. Then maybe it just got to a point where they just made Lucasfilm just made a cold hard decision of like, well, we're not going to associate ourselves with any of these podcasts and these fans pages because there's just so much. It's gotten so violent, on social media that, you know, we can't keep picking and choosing. Oh, you said something wrong, I'll take you off. You know, I'll take you off later. So we'll just get rid of all of them. And I get that if that is one reason they did it. I get that, but I am sad because now we're not going to be on it.
Oh no,
because that way you're right. That was always a fun thing to think about and look forward to. It's like, you know, to kind of cement yourself into the community. It seemed like that was one way to do it, is to be recognized by that side. But heck, if I'm fine, because we got to do the live show celebration. So to me, that's putting our stamp in the community into the fandom. So hopefully we get to do that again with this upcoming celebration. But
that's got to make you think. They're not going to change that, are they? I don't.
I feel like we would have heard by now.
I think so too,
because they actually just extended the deadline.
They did
to the end of the month, which is next week. But
yes.
So I think that's good there. But
I just think they're probably really thinking and vetting about
probably.
That's maybe why they extended it to make sure they took time to.
Yeah, and then of course Lucasfilm, I'm sure, has a lot to say about what happens at Celebration, obviously, but it is being ran by a third party. It's being organized by
the convention itself. Correct.
So I don't know. Maybe if there is I don't know who has what the percentage of authority is and who chooses and what podcasts or even what panels are on there. So, but I'm glad they're keeping it, because again, it welcomes that community and it allows the community to grow and to be cemented. So, it was good and bad reason, good and bad feelings about why they did it, but I'm not holding it against them. I get it. They got to run the website.
I mean, I totally think, in my opinion, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I think, but I completely understand.
Yes.
I mean, they have an image. They, as in ultimately Disney. It's not just Star Wars. I mean, Disney has an image that it has to protect, and you may not agree with it always. You may not like it, but disparity and negativity, I mean, it hurts brands.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there was a dark cloud for a while with the fandom, I felt like. I think there was a lot of people yelling at each other. Yep. There was a lot of people yelling at filmmakers and the movies that were just uncalled for. And eventually, I'm actually surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, again, I think it started off, they took off some.
Yes,
right?
You're right.
They did.
Actually, you're right. They did remove a couple.
So that's why it's at this point. It's just, you know what? Let's just.
If they all can't be on there, none of them can be on there.
Just take them all off. We'll put the charitable organizations on there. We'll put the nonprofits on there.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, it comes down to us as fans and us as creators. We're not. I feel like we both always looked at it like this. Look, we're not being paid by Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm. All right.
No matter how much we want to be. We're not making money from Star Wars. So what we're trying to do is help them make more money so that we can get more content.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like,
try to keep it going.
That's what fans do, in my opinion. If you're a fan of something, you try to talk about it, spread the word about it, make sure you're giving your money to it and giving your attention to it so that you can get more of it. I mean, that's the only way you get more of what you love. Because they have to make money from it.
I mean, all the time you hear at conventions or in interviews for these big franchises is the actors and filmmakers say, "Oh, it's because of you guys, because of the fans." And it actually, some of them maybe are just saying it just to make it feel better, but no, it actually works.
Yeah.
Unrelated to Star Wars, though, like there are shows out there, TV shows that get canceled but then brought back because the fans scream for it to come back.
Absolutely.
So yeah, obviously, fans and what they do, it does matter whether or not they are sanctioned officially by the brand that they are, cheering for. So it's we are doing our part, just like the guys, Mark and Gavin, those guys, they're doing their part. They're doing a good service.
That's exactly that's how it all comes back, because I think ultimately there are fans out there that block the negativity and really try to be positive about it and put their stamp on it, and that's all we're doing, is we're putting our stamp on it, trying to add to the community and make sure everybody's aware of Star Wars and how great it is, how much we love it and appreciate it. And, it's I will rarely, Lucas, as far as Star Wars content, of course, I will have a strong opinion on how I feel about this film or this TV show.
Sure.
But when it comes down to pure Lucasfilm business decisions, that's where I'm like, hey, you guys got to do what's best.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no opinion that I can say or have that should have any. I should not be providing any kind of opinion on how they want to run their business, because there's so much going on that I have no idea about. You know what I mean? So, people can get mad about it, but it's like, and I disagree. I definitely disagree with some of the things I've been reading about how Lucasfilm is turning their back on the fans and all this stuff. That's to me, that is not the case.
Right? Yeah.
So I think they're allowing the fans to just. I think this is even more so allowing the fans to truly keep their opinions and keep it in the fandom and let us work it out ourselves.
No, I think the Star Wars community, and we talked about this for years. Almost close to the inception of our show, is the Star Wars community just needs to grow. It needs to unite and grow and get better. And there are the bigger podcasts that's. Some guys will co-host or jump on other shows, that kind of thing.
Right.
But other than that, we have a good relationship with Tim McMahon. I think the more of that needs to happen. We need to start talking to each other more and helping each other more and building the community more. And
totally,
Celebration is a great place to do that.
Yes.
To connect into meet and greet and that kind of stuff. But
maybe we should organize a party at Celebration.
Maybe we should. Yeah, there was that one podcast thing at Disney Springs. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I think that it takes those kind of steps.
Totally, yeah.
The first steps.
These are the first steps.
So,
all right. Anyway, so check out Star Wars. Check out Odyssey, a Star Wars story out there from Mark and Gavin. We'll be posting that on our social media and all that along with this show. So. Thanks for checking that out for them, and let them leave a comment for those guys. Tell them how much you guys appreciate their fandom. So, other than that, I think that's a wrap for this week.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Go to InsideTheForce.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Inside the Force. We'll be back next week. For Case Cooley.
Always in motion is the future.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yes.
I try to make it tailored somewhat to what we're talking about.
Yes. So that's good.
Chew on that.
Have a great week, guys. We appreciate it. Take care. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.